Welcome to another FIFA 19 career mode video. Today we're talking about things that you may not have heard about or little Easter eggs that are currently in FIFA 19 career mode. Remember, if you do go on to enjoy the video, leave a like for me. Let's get to 800 likes, and if you're new around here and you want to see more career mode content, hit the subscribe button today and the notification bell and you won't miss anything. I think you're going to find this video interesting and might even help a few of you guys out, and yeah, let's get into it. So because I do my series where I talk about things that don't make sense and I ask for suggestions, a few people have told me that they found it frustrating that they weren't able to renegotiate player contracts for players that had 1 year or less because they were out on loan, and the game doesn't let you renegotiate players that are out on loan at the moment unless you recall them back. So basically people said that a lot of their players became free agents, but as I did my investigation and tried to recreate the scenario, I noticed that it doesn't have to be this way. You can actually renegotiate a player's contract at the end of the season, so I'm going to show you. So I hope what I said made sense, but if it didn't, don't worry, because now we're going to do a real life example here. James Wilson is currently out on loan. As you can see, he has 1 year left on his contract. We're at the start of the season, which means by the end of the season he could become a free agent if we don't recall him and we don't negotiate his contract in time. So this is where it gets a lot of people. We're at the end of the season now, June 29th, but no games have been played for a long time now. The season finished in May. So when you go to the squad hub and you want to get those last minute renegotiations done, the problem is the game still says that the players are out on loan. As you can see, Wilson apparently is still out on loan on January 29th. He has less than a day left on his contract before he becomes a free agent. And the only way to get these guys back and prevent them from being a free agent is to recall them all from their loans, which could cost money depending on your budgets. You know, if you're using a smaller club, you might not have the money to recall players from loan. But the thing is, if you go right to the end of the season, so the last day of the season, a lot of people just breeze past this page because they think it's like this even on the 30th, but you have to sim to the 30th and then it should be okay. So we're at the last day of the season now, and I think a lot of people miss this because they don't actually flick to the squad hub. So they think that you're not able to renegotiate anymore, which means your players become free agents. But if you go to the transfer hub tile, you flick right, you can see the squad hub. Now, if we take a look at Wilson, who was still on loan apparently, on the 30th of June, Wilson comes back to United and becomes a United player again, which means the club, or which means the game allows you to renegotiate his contract and get him signed before he becomes a free agent in the next season. So this may be something that you didn't know about because it's not really in your face. It's hidden behind the transfer hub tile, so you can stop your players from becoming free agents now, because all you have to do is go to the 30th of June, the last day of the career mode, and all your players will be available for renegotiation. So if you've watched my previous videos a few months ago, you would have seen me showing you guys how to put two teams in the Champions League and the Europa League so you can play them in the same season. Some of you guys have subscribed since then, so you may not know this, but I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're looking to spice up your career mode, looking for a hard challenge, then this could be it for you. So obviously you have to start a new manager career, and it doesn't matter what you pick here as long as you go to the team selection. Now I choose to swap out Man United. I think it works with other clubs. You might want to try it though. I'm just going to show you how it worked for me. Now I can do Dinamo Zagreb, and I think I can do Spartak Moscow at the moment. The other teams didn't work for me, so put them in the Premier League and then hit the advance button. Choose whatever manager, whatever you want there, and go to European competitions now in the settings page. Hit the triangle button and you can see that Spartak Moscow has replaced Man United in the Champions League. Press the R2 button, go to the Europa League now, and Spartak Moscow is there in the Europa League as well. After that, you can hit the advance button and it'll set up your career mode. And now when we go into the actual career mode, you can see you can play your Champions League games on the Wednesday and the Europa League on the Thursday. And you can play all the way up to the final. You can win the competition with both teams. If you've watched my video on it, you'll know already what it's like. But yeah, if you really wanted to do two competitions, you can do it. And by the way, this is a very difficult challenge, so you'll need two good squads because the fixtures will definitely kill the player stamina. So I think this is the ultimate challenge if you're bored of career mode. So Tom, who is a gameplay producer for FIFA, has told everyone about this Easter egg. When you do a kickoff after a goal has been scored, if you hold L1 down, or the L button, or the L bumper, sorry, and you flick one of the D-pad buttons, your player will perform a different animation at the kickoff. It's a little Easter egg. Tom says that it is a subtle thing at the moment, but they're looking to improve this to make it more noticeable. And yeah, who knows what they're going to do with this in the future. But he goes that they add little Easter eggs like this into the game so they can see how it looks in the game. and then they're going to improve on it in the future. So it's definitely something that you should try out. I'm not sure how many people actually know about this, but yeah, if you cop a goal in career mode or any other game mode and you want to pump up your team, get them going, then you can use one of these animations and it will look like that in the game. So have you ever had the same points as another team, had the better goal difference, but was ranked below them on the table? Well, it's good to know this thing because a lot of different competitions don't work the same way as the Premier League, and they treat equal points a bit differently. So in the Champions League, for example, you could see Valencia and Juventus both finished on 10 points. Juventus has the better goal difference at 4, and Valencia has the goal difference at 3, which means Juventus should be on top if we're talking about goal difference. But in this case, Juventus finished under Valencia, which to some people who don't know about this is correct. And it all comes down to how the Champions League ranks teams that are level on points. So for Champions League group stages, it says the main way they treat equal points is head-to-head points between the tied teams. So I think this one applies here. You could see Valencia beat Juventus, so that means they've got 3 points against Juventus, and then later on in the season, Juventus drew with Valencia, which means they only got 1 point. So in this case, Valencia had more points in the head-to-head tie, which means they finish on top of them based on this rule. And then if that's still equal, it goes on to the second rule, which is head-to-head goal difference between the tied teams. And then it goes down to the third one, which is goals scored in head-to-head matches between the two teams, and then away goals scored in the head-to-head matches. And then it goes down more and more, and goal difference in this case is not actually considered like it would be in the Premier League. And it's not just the Champions League, other leagues like the Serie A also have different rules when compared to the Premier League's rules. So Toby sent this image in for the Things We Hate series, and he initially said, I had the better goal difference, but the game put me below Inter Milan. I should have been in second because I had the better goal difference. And when I actually did my research, I noticed that the Serie A does have different rules. So even though you have the better goal difference, the Serie A doesn't care. The first way they rank teams that are level on points is through head-to-head points. So when Inter and Napoli played against each other twice throughout the season, whoever had the more points out of the two games goes on top. And then if that's both the same, let's say they drew both games, then it would go down to head-to-head goal difference, which is the goal difference between the two games, whoever had the better goal difference there. And then if that's equal, it goes down to overall goal difference for the whole competition. So there's actually 2 rules ahead of just your standard goal difference rule. So you might think this is a little bit boring, but I put this in the video because a lot of people started sending stuff in regarding this. They said I had the better goal difference and the game's glitched out. It's a bug. They didn't put me above. And it's not the case. It's actually the rules of each different competition. If you look them up, there's actually websites that actually tell you the different ways they treat equal points. So when it comes to contracts in career mode, a lot of players have less than 5 years left on their contract. And when you go to renegotiate player contracts, the game doesn't let you do more than 5 years. But when you start at Atletico Madrid career mode, you'll notice that Saul has 8 years on his contract. And there's also other players that have 6 years like Correa, Perez, and Hernandez as well. And I thought I'd throw this in because maybe you didn't know, because we're used to seeing contracts from 5 years and under, and when I see 8 years, it's just something a little bit different, but at least EA has acknowledged what has happened in the real life as well and given Saul the 8 years. So this is one of the longest contracts I think in football history, and at least it's acknowledged in career mode as well. So in this video I showed you how you can put the same team in the Champions League and the Europa League in the same season. Now I'm going to show you guys how to put the same team in the Europa League twice. So you can pick whatever you want here for the manager career. When it comes to replacing teams, I think you can do Arsenal. And basically you want to swap Arsenal out with Dinamo Zagreb from the rest of the world category. Advance from there, pick whatever manager you want there as well. Go to European competitions, press triangle, and you'll have to see here where Dinamo Zagreb is, and then also you'll have to find Arsenal, replace them, and it should come up with the rest of the world category. Flick to the right a few times, find Dinamo Zagreb again, and there you go. We're going to have Dinamo Zagreb there, and we're also going to have Dinamo Zagreb in Group E as well, so twice in the same Europa League. And you can basically play the Europa League twice in the same season. I don't know if it's using the same team. We'll have a look quickly. And basically we have one game here against Anderlecht. I'm going to sim the game. I think it's going to be 2 games in one day, but we're going to double check here. And we finish the first game. Of course, we lose 1-0. And then straight away we have the second game. So let's see if it uses the same squad. It does. So if your stamina is bad, you're going to struggle, but it does essentially double your chances. I think when I did this I actually broke the Europa League. It stopped working after the group stage because both of my teams made it out of the group stage and the game didn't know what to do. But yeah, if you want to try it yourself, there's a way to put the same team twice in the Europa League. So that's pretty much all I wanted to showcase today. I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you found it a little bit interesting. If you did, let me know by leaving a thumbs up.